So, hello everybody and welcome to the Old Vine Hero Awards, the Winners Webinar 2025. I'm Belinda Stone, I'm one of the directors of the Old Vine Conference, and it's great to see so many people from around the world already joining us live to hear the results of the awards. We're now in our third year, and the Old Vine Hero Awards, we put it together to unite the global wine community and to raise awareness and understanding of the work that's being done to nurture old vines around the world. The awards recognize the dedication, the tenacity, and the talents of those working with old vines and their wines. And this year we have some new award categories for 2025. And today our head judges that you can see on the screen now will be handing out Old Vine Hero Awards for Next Generation, Best Viticulture Team, Communication and Education, which is an award sponsored by the IWSC, Research, and Old Vines New Technology. The 2025 awards received 60 qualifying nominations, representing individuals and organizations from 14 different countries. We have an international panel of 17 expert Old Vine judges, and they had the agonizing task of whittling down a haul of truly inspiring nominations to just 18, who over the last 2 weeks together have received just under 6,000 individual votes from the global wine community. And it goes just some way to show how far the Old Vine movement has reached. A couple of pieces of housekeeping before we begin. This webinar is being recorded and it will be available to view in full on the Old Vine Conference YouTube channel later this week. So if you can't stay with us for the duration, you'll be able to catch up with it at your leisure. And if you have any questions for our judges or for the winners, please do put them in the Q&A and we will address them at the end if we have the time. I'm going to hand you over now to Sarah Abbott, MW, who is one of the co-founders of the Old Vine Conference, and she'll be hosting this evening's Old Vine Hero Awards Winners webinar. Good luck to all the nominees.
Thank you, Belinda, and thank you for being the one who actually came up with the idea of setting up Old Vine Hero Awards. I must also thank all those who nominated people, the nominees, the voters, and the judges. And I'd also like to thank my fellow judges who are here to present awards. So Francisca Vanzella, Rosa Kruger, Jean de Martino, and Adriana Catena. Thank you so much for your leadership, your work with Old Vines, and also for being part of our community at the Old Vine Conference. You really have inspired and supported us greatly. So thank you for that. The Old Vine Hero Awards really center the people. We have other activations or activities, I should say, where we highlight the wines, where we highlight the vineyards, but this is really about the people. And I know we like to say that wine is made in the vineyard, but actually, if it weren't for the intent of the maker, we wouldn't have these vineyards and we wouldn't have these wines. So it's really important to highlight those who have the commitment and the energy to sustain this kind of work, because we know it's not the easiest way to cultivate wine. So I'm going to hand over without further ado to Francisca Vanzella, who will introduce the next generation category and announce the winner. Thank you, Francisca.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much, Belinda. And hi, everybody. I'm going to apologize straight on for my lack of pronunciation of some of the international names and the names and vineyards. But I'm presenting today the Next Generation Award, and it's all about celebrating the passion and ingenuity of young talent within the world of old vines. The award acknowledges the next generation of winemakers, viticulturalists, and distributors who are stepping into the world of old vine viticulture, bringing fresh perspectives, passion, and innovation to the old vine movement, and demonstrating how young, talented individuals are embracing heritage and pushing the boundaries for generations to come. To be eligible for the Next Generation Award, applicants must be 40 years old or under at the time of application and be actively working with old vines. The judging process for this category was particularly inspiring for me. I'm the 15th generation working in the family business, now at Van Zellers & Co. My fourth great-grandfather was finding solutions to fight phylloxera in the 19th century. My great-great-grandfather helped transform the Douro landscape from traditional sucalcos into the more modern patamage to facilitate intervention. And my father, Cristiano, has been a fierce defender of old vineyards in the Douro to produce not only high-quality port wines, but also Douro DOC wines. So suddenly I've taken on a beacon to fully convert our oldest vineyards to regenerative viticulture. And we are leading a study with the use of frass as a soil fertilizer with the University of Aveiro. Much of this work is inspired by the stories I read and people I meet along the way, and the Old Vine Conference has been particularly responsible for doing so. And so it is really, truly, truly an honor to be reading about all the different techniques and practices led by the next generation award applicants. Even more so, of the three nominees we are so proud to highlight today. These are brothers Carlos and Juanjo Cerdán from Bodega Cerrón, who are bringing more stories and reviving the ungrafted Airen vineyard, which has played a crucial role in elevating the reputation for this variety. Simone Foti in Mount Etna from I Vigneri, who has been cultivating vineyards in the traditional Alberello Enteo style. And Ricardo Giorgi and Adeline Maillard's work at Chiandu Giorgi. They have strongly focused on the restructuring of an abandoned vineyard and are focusing on shaping the land with the hard work of reterracing hillsides in Rio Maggiore and Venazza. Therefore, Sarah, may I go ahead?
Please
So
do.
I'm very pleased to announce that the winners for the Next Generation Award are brothers Carlos and Juanjo Cerdán. Congratulations to both of you.
I don't know if anyone's had a chance to taste these wines, but they are sensational, and I think that really they've been very kind of inspiring in showing, rewriting the quality potential of those incredible vineyards. It looks like a big stony desert. You can't believe that humans ever worked out how to farm and live there, but they have. And I think that the way the brothers have really kind of reignited the understanding of that incredible agricultural craft is just amazing. Fantastic. Okay, I'll hand over to you now, Carlos.
Hello, thank you very much for the big win. I'm alone today. My brother is with visit at the fields at the winery also, so I would be the one receiving the big award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos. I think I have a couple of questions for you, right, Belinda? I've taken a couple of notes. Carlos, I was super impressed by your work. I do have a personal curiosity, which is what has been your biggest challenge in reviving and upkeeping an ungrafted vineyard?
Yeah. So actually, it was a challenging work because usually my region is a quite mountainous region. So the hillsides and the slopes were abandoned because usually it has been worked by donkeys and by horses. So as the mechanization arrived to our place and to Jumilla in general, all these vineyards, or most of them, were abandoned because the first tractors were like, it was difficult to work with such like big slopes as it happens in Dogo Valley. So we started to recover these old vineyards. As my grandpa were helping us recover from the old roots and also from the old latent buds. So it was a lot of work. We've been doing it for 5-6 years with no productions, so expending a lot of time, effort, and money, of course, in reviving these old vineyards. But nowadays we have a huge heritage of all the vineyards, more than 50 hectares of ungrafted vineyards from 1911 to 1970s. And that means not only produce wine out of these old vineyards, also to have these clones, this diversity, these different type of old local varieties, like not only Airén, but also Monastrell, also Blanquilla, also Forcallat, Bonicaire, many varieties that you probably never heard about, that were planted by field blend, by mix co-plantation. And we are now studying them, not only studying the genetics, but also studying them, producing the wines out of the different fields that we have. And it was a matter of time, as always. Viticulture takes time in our region, even more because it's kind of a desert in high altitude. So plants grow really slow, and but then to have the opportunity to work with these like local varieties, unique varieties, is incredible for us.
Great. My other question actually has a lot to do with those less known varieties and being the next generation. How do you see the role of old vines and these less known varieties in promoting wine drinking to generations that are coming into wine? How important do you feel they are?
So I think it's really important because we have a Mediterranean landscape full of pine trees, rosemary, oak trees, lavender, and they show a lot the typicity of our region, of our chalky terroir also, but mainly of our landscape, because these are usually varieties with more finesse, more refined varieties with less color, with a little bit less concentration than Monastrell, and varieties that, due to the 90s more Bordeaux approach of wines, they were kind of forgetting time. So now we are recovering these new varieties. For example, I'm now thinking about Moravia Agria. That is, it means like sour Moravia, because elderly people used to confuse sourness with acidity, and it's a really fresh acidic variety that gives a lot of tension to the field blend, to the wines, and that is in. They are usually in a more actual style of wine, with more fruitness, with more flower style, and I think is really important to come back to the past, to look into the future. No, try to forget about the non-local or alloctonous varieties that were planted in the region during 90s, as Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot, and try to be more focused in these local varieties, ancient varieties that shows more the typicity of the terroir, and that allow us also to be different in such a huge such a huge market, but also a market that is full of wine from many different regions.
Thank you so much, Carlos.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Carlos and Juanjo, for your award and, of course, for your incredible work. Thank you, Francisca. And I'm going to hand over now to Rosa Kruger, who's going to announce, very fittingly, the Best Viticulture Team category and winner.
Good evening, Belinda and Sarah and everybody that's listening. the Old Vine Conference received 16 nominations for the category of the Best Viticultural Team. The nominations not only hugely inspired me, but impressed me enormously with they show dedication, research, and commitment to old vines across the world. From Italy, Bolivia, many from Spain, California, Australia, Bulgaria, Chile. Many of the entrants to the other categories, for example, communication and education, new technology or research, could have entered the category for Best Viticultural Team too. We've learned so much over the last 10 years from old vines, and there's so much more to learn to prepare us for the climate changes that's coming, the heat and the change in weather patterns in years to come. We still need to learn a lot about planting density, rootstock, adaptability, sap flow, row direction, pruning or trellising systems. And as we learn more from old vines, I always seem to think that it's the vineyards that had the softest touch and the least manipulation by the human hand that survived the best. A skilled touch by a team that was trained in agronomy and viticulture over many, many years. That is actually what we need. The category for Best Viticultural Team, and I quote, is an award that celebrates the collective efforts of a team responsible for managing and maintaining old vine vineyards. From vineyard managers and lead viticulturists to field workers and seasonal laborers, this award acknowledges the tireless contributions of the entire crew who ensure the health, sustainability, and productivity of old vines. This is right up my alley because I work with farm workers every day of my life, or I used to, and I know exactly what it feels like to stand in a vineyard in a hot day for 8 hours. What impressed me from the nominations to this category was the wealth of knowledge grown and developed over many generations, like Francisco just told. I mean, 15th generation. That is absolutely impressive for someone like me coming from the sort of New World wine area. It impressed me was the wealth of knowledge grown and developed over many generations on one farm in one terroir. Nothing can replace the knowledge built over years. What the seasons can do, how the wind blows, or when the rain falls. And nothing can replace a skilled hand in the vineyard. The 5 nominees on the final list are, and also excuse my pronunciation, I'm actually not English, I'm Afrikaans, as you can probably hear, so trying for me to speak it in another language is not easy. Pares Balta Winery, where Marta Casas farmed biodynamically as a 3rd-generation winemaker in Catalonia in Spain. The principle, or her motto, and I love this word, of Poda de Respeto is to be admired and followed by all vineyard people. Secondly, we have Viticultura Viva is a consultant company in Spain, founded by Julian Palacios in 2007, if I remember correctly. I've listened carefully to most of their teaching videos, wonderful videos and documentaries available on YouTube, for example. Their work is based on many, many years of knowledge of vines and terroir. And they sometimes video these old guys pruning a vineyard and old people working in a vineyard that's been there for many, many years. It's also hugely inspiring, and it shows a love and enthusiasm and a wonderful commitment to viticulture. Thank you to Viticultura Viva. Thirdly, and all 60 nominations could have won this award. They were all brilliant in their own way. Thirdly, Atse Skone in Barossa is managed by the 5th generation again. We have this generational family. The 5th generation of Kaleske family with 175 years of family history. What a wonderful library of generational knowledge. What a privilege to work alongside your father and your mother in the vineyards like he does, and in his words, oversee every aspect of viticulture personally. Very well done. Thirdly, Rich Vineyards in California needs no introduction to their work on the preservation of Zinfandel and field blends, and David Gates and his vineyard team to some of California's oldest vineyards, like Lytton Springs and Montebello, that they farm organically, and their vineyard practices, to me, seems to contribute to sustainability and longevity of vineyards in general, like composting, no-till, integrated pest management, cover crops, etc. The fifth entrant or nomination was and my pronunciation you might not recognize the name, was Bodega Viñedos Jokic. I actually Google the name, the pronunciation, so I hope it's correct. Francisco, why are you smiling? The fifth entrant was Bodega Viñedos Jokic. We 5 generations, presently under the guidance of Patricia Mendoza, work with smallholder growers in the Cindy Valley in Bolivia at an astounding altitude of 2,400 meters above sea level, with vines from 150 to 300 years old. And who's the winner? Bodegas Viñedos Jokic is the winner of this category. They are of Old Vine Heroes Best Viticultural Team for 2025. Well done and so well deserved to Patricia and the whole vineyard team. And I would love to call their names. Patricia Mendoza, Ariel Mendoza, Veronica Mendoza, Dionisio Portal de Mercado, Rebecca Cazon Aguirre, I hope that's right, Santiago Mancilla, Nancy Ortega, Quintana Valdez, and the family Butrago. Well done to all of you. And can we now please see Madame Patricia Mendoza. Sarah, is she going to join?
I know that Patricia sometimes has connectivity issues. I don't think she's here just yet. Is she here, Belinda?
We're just trying to get her on. She is here, and passing her over is it's not working at the minute. It did just take a minute to get Carlos over, so hopefully it's happening, but she's not there right now. We might have to see if she can join. If I see her pop back on. Patricia, can you hear us or see us?
Maybe I can present the question to Patricia already. I see that she's created on her place a nursery for rare grape varieties, much the same as the previous winner, Carlos Garcia. How many of these rare grape varieties have they found and are growing in their nursery? And just for interest's sake, how many of them are actually recorded in Jancis Robinson's book? Are they there yet or not yet? I would love to know that.
I don't know if we're gonna, well, hang on, she's rejoining the webinar. Hang on, she might be coming. Patricia, are you there?
With my audio. Yes, I'm here.
There we go. Great. Congratulations.
Wonderful. There she is. Oh,
yes, I'm yeah.
Another woman, Patricia Valeria
Hello.
Mendoza. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, with some of the team, but the rest are not here because we confused of the time, the hour. I told them 7 p.m. and then
Patricia,
really,
I'm so happy to give you this award. I'm so proud of you and your whole team. And we mentioned all the members, all the names of the people in your team. Well done.
yeah. Yes, it's Sonia Zamora is next to me, and then we missed that name in the
yes, her name's not on the list now.
yeah, we had after, and then yeah, but it's fine. She's here. She's here
Wonderful.
next to me. So
I have
yeah,
questions for you, but I see we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to go with my questions. Firstly, I see that you've created a nursery for rare grape varieties. How many of
Yes.
these rare grape varieties did you find? And are they all in your nursery?
Yeah, we had Misionera, we had Misionera o Negra Criolla, and also we have Bichoqueña, which is a natural cross between Moscatel of Alexandria and Listán Prieto. And then also we have Moscatel of Alexandria, we have Imporeña, which is another Criolla name that took the name of a village. And then we have also Uvilla, and we miscall this Alvilla, some growers. And then also we have like another varieties like Real and that others that we don't know what it is. So what Bichoqueña Blanc, white Bichoqueña also we have it, and it's a lot of things that we have. So we do a selection masal. So also we have Sonia is telling me that we have also Rosada. That's right. But what we do is like because we do a selection masal, we bring the cuttings from the parcel that is white grape or red grapes, and then we reproduce it, and then we bring all this pool of genetic vines to our nursery, and then we reproduce it, and then we distribute it. Sometimes it's in the Moscatel is Imporeña or another grapes, but now we are trying to select it, and then so enumerating giving the names in the plants before in harvest, trying to recognize what it is and then separate it. So we are doing now more selective work in our nursery. But the most demand is Bichoqueña, Negra Criolla, and Moscatel of Alexandria, because we are producing or wines with the denomination of origin, and then also Moscatel de Alexandria is mostly using for Singani, or flag spirit, Bolivian spirit.
One more question. Sorry to interrupt you. I have to ask you this. Sonia sitting next to you. How many years have Sonia been working in the vineyards? How many years?
¿Cuántos años dice que usted está trabajando en los viñedos?
No, en los viñedos yo estoy trabajando desde mi uso de razón, ¿no?
She is working since kid.
A partir de los 20 años, hoy día tengo 82 años, pero a un principio he sido profesora de escuela, luego me he dedicado íntegramente al trabajo de la viña.
How many years? I don't understand a word of Spanish, sorry. How many years?
Yeah, she says since 22 years old, and she's now 81 years old and still active working on the vineyard. So before, and then also she was combining being a professor. She was my teacher for the primary school. So I'm really happy to have her next to me. And then Rebecca, the others is all the same years.
I respect people like this greatly, to be in the vineyards for so many years and to have contributed for so many years. My second question is, how do you think will winning this award impact on your work? What would it change something that you do? Are you happy about the award, winning this award? How does it influence your impact on you?
I did a resume, so I would say it. So Rosa, it's a great honor to win this award. In Bolivia, we have some of the oldest vineyards in the world, with vines over 300 years old, grown in traditional system around the chañar tree, molle, and algarrobo. However, we face two issues. Firstly, in Bolivia, there is not an awareness of the importance of preserving old vines, and smallholders often destroyed old vines to replace them with new high yielding international variety vines or new vines from the same variety. Prices such as the old vines helps raise awareness in Bolivia that is important and valuable to protect all vines. Secondly, Bolivia is still largely an undiscovered wine region internationally. We export very little wine, and hence it is important to raise awareness internationally of our unique terroir, criolla vines, and especially our old vines, so more people internationally can enjoy our unique wine.
Thank you so
So
much.
I answer the
That's a
question.
fantastic answer.
We are
Once again,
really happy.
once again, congratulations to you and your entire team. And I hope to see you one day in Bolivia.
Yes, yes, we will wait for you here.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Thank
Sarah.
you.
Back to you. Or Belinda, where are you?
It's me. Thank you. That was really a really fantastic interaction, and congratulations. And I hope we will see more awareness of the wines of Bolivia. There are a couple of leading producers such as Jokic and Jardin Oculto, actually, whose winemaker has been a previous recipient of recognition from the Old Vine Conference. It's now my pleasure to introduce and present the Communication and Education Award category and winner. I would really like to thank the sponsor of this award, which is the IWSC, the International Wine and Spirits Competition. Under the leadership of CEO Christelle Guibert, they've been extremely proactive in, first of all, supporting environmental projects, and particularly in supporting the education and access to experience of diverse people within the wine industry. So the IWSC have actually sponsored this award, and the winner of this award receives a complimentary ticket to attend our biggest ever conference, the Old Vine Conference, which is taking place in California in November. More details at our website. And the IWSC are also funding the travel costs and accommodation costs so that the winner of this award can come and really connect with the full community around the Old Vine movement, as well as, of course, attend the conference and taste the many fantastic wines and attend the seminars that will be part of that. So thank you to IWSC, who also sponsor our Old Vine Wine Award, which highlights great Old Vine wines from within the IWSC gold medals. So this award has been broadened this year. Originally, it was the Communication Award, but we wanted to recognise not only exceptional communication, but also education. People who are working either directly as educators or perhaps more tangentially to really inform, inspire and raise awareness about the importance and the value and the nitty-gritty of old vines. So I'm going to run through the nominees. And I have to say, we had 20 really great nominations for this category, and it was tough narrowing it down. So I'd like to thank everyone who either nominated or applied for this category. So our shortlist is Aldo Yarrow. Aldo, of course, is a pioneer in wine journalism. He, as well as founding vinography.com, Aldo is also a frequent contributor to jancesrobinson.com. He also has been very influential in building up the Old Vine Registry, which started as a spreadsheet on Jancis Robinson's site of a list of old vine vineyards. And under Aldo's considerable expertise in IT and media, it's grown into basically a cloud database. And Aldo leads this as a volunteer and has seen the expansion of that Old Vine Registry to now more than 4,000 old vine vineyards from all around the world. Beyond the Old Vine Registry, Yarrow's Alder's work emphasizes the preservation of old vineyards as cultural and biological treasures. His articles are fantastic and an amazing combination of technical precision and rather lyrical narratives that I think really capture the value of old vines and old vine wine. His contributions to wine media have earned him a place in the Wine Writers Hall of Fame, and the Old Vine Registry's impact was cemented when it won Best Heritage Initiative at the Vidor Awards in Paris last year. Our second nominee, finalist, I should say, is Nacho Leon, and he is a grower and winemaker in Bierzo in Spain. As the owner of Demencia Wine, he manages just 3.5 hectares of head-pruned old vines. He focuses on restoring soil vitality and focuses on revitalizing historic vineyards. He founded the Demencia in 2016, and he brings abandoned vineyards back to life, cultivating them with minimal intervention and a great respect for ecological balance. He's also the most incredible communicator, and he's really agitated against the removal of old vines, especially healthy old vines, and he's protected nearly 500 hectares of historic vineyards. He's the founder of Bierzo Fuere de Serie, I apologize for my pronunciation, and promotes local wine culture through educational tour and events. He also founded the Astronauts Project, Astronautas Project, which integrates people with disabilities into winemaking. And he's also a former president of Bierzo's Quality Control Board. You see what I mean about this being a tough category. They're all superheroes. Our next finalist is Michelle Shah. Michelle is a wine marketer, journalist, and communicator, and she has been a great supporter of the Old Vine Conference since our initiation. She joined as one of our first regional ambassadors for Italy, and she's really worked very hard on communicating and educating producers on the value and the potential for them to more impactfully share and get attention for their work with old vines. So Michelle has been really fundamental in promoting old vine projects across Italy, supporting growers. She brought together our first Italy Old Vine Conference event, in which she managed to bring together more than 30 Italian wine producers, and her work has led to this really sustained ongoing collaboration across regions of Italy, and amazingly lots of them didn't know what the other people in Italy were doing. So we were really impressed with how she was able to communicate and educate the producers about this. Dr. Dylan Grigg is our final finalist. He's actually a viticulturalist and winemaker, and like you said, Rosa, could well have entered the viticultural category. Dylan has an amazing gift for concise and engaging communication. And through his content on social media, seminars, and global consulting, he makes complex viticultural concepts really accessible. He really uses humor in a wonderful way, which we really appreciated. And anyone who wants just to get their head around, any non-technical person wanting to get their head around the essentials of old vine viticulture, do follow Dylan Grigg on Instagram. All of these finalists are actually detailed on our website. And I'm delighted to announce that the winner of this category is Michelle Shah. Hi, Michelle.
Hi there. I'm just trying to
I see, yes.
I'm here. Yeah. I get really stressed out at these things. Sorry.
No, don't worry, don't worry. No. Great to see you. Thank you. Well, Michelle, congratulations on winning this award. How do you feel about being the winner of the public vote?
Well, Sarah, I'm incredibly honored, moved, and really truly humbled to receive this award. I mean, being recognized along so many talented and passionate people is a real privilege. And but first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to the judges for shortlisting me, and most importantly to the global wine community for all your votes. Your support has truly been the driving force behind this achievement. So I'm really excited, and I'm also beyond excited to be heading to California for the Meeting of Minds conference in October. From the moment I first heard about it from yourself and Belinda, I knew I wanted to be there. And that's actually part of what motivated me to enter the awards, to take a chance at winning this incredible opportunity, for which I also want to thank the IWSC for their sponsorship. So I'm really, feeling really very privileged.
Thanks, Michelle. And I know we're looking forward to having you there at the Old Vine Conference in California. We have a really great contingent of Italian producers, and we look forward to reading your article about your visit there. And also, I think, to conveying this aspect of Italian wine culture to the attendees at that conference. And there's a lot of headwinds in our industry at the moment. There's a lot of quite divisive rhetoric. And I think that the unifying effect of bringing these different minds and attitudes together will really help to communicate the long view and the long benefit of working together to highlight this really important aspect of wine farming. So Michelle, congratulations, and really thank you for your work as well.
Well, thank you, and I thank all the Old Vine Conference for having given me the opportunity to be the ambassador to Italy, something that I greatly honor and privilege, and hope to bring more producers into the network. Thank you very much.
You actually deserve something like the Nobel Prize for just getting 30 Italian producers to collaborate.
We're almost up to 40
well done
now. Sarah, we're almost up to 40 now, so
yes.
And keep on going.
And I think that what we love is being able to see them learn and share information with each other, which has really been really exciting, and I think is the transformative aspect.
Yeah.
Thanks,
well,
Michelle.
Especially in Italy, because I mean it's such an ununified country. So
all the Italians.
It's already quite an achievement to get everybody to agree together and maybe meet in one single place. Like we did last year at the All of Italy event. But yes, it's a challenge, but it's one that I love, and I take up wholeheartedly. So.
I always remember, Rosa, you said in one of our very first webinars that old vines have a very unifying effect. And I think that we see that again and again, even in the creative, individualistic, genius land of Italy. So thank you, Michelle. I'm going to hand over now to Adriana Catena, who's going to introduce the research category and announce the winner.
Can you hear me? Wonderful. So hi, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. I have a sun coming in from the side, so I'm sort of running away from it. But it's been just wonderful to judge this category. Sarah, thank you, and Belinda. And it introduced me to some really fascinating projects. I got a sense of meaningful, necessary, and in some cases, very urgent research being done with tremendous passion and dedication, as well as scientific rigor, which is no easy task. And as a historian on a personal level, I just loved the idea of bringing back and saving sensorial profiles, tastes and smells from the past. So there was that other, beyond the scientific, the aesthetic and cultural dimension of these projects. And so to say a little bit about the research category, whether through studies on vine genetics, soil health, economic impact, sustainability practices, or climate adaptation, the work of those on the shortlist for the 2025 Old Vine Hero Award for Research is recognized for pushing the boundaries of knowledge and safeguarding the future of old vines. And I think everyone who is in agriculture and in viticulture knows that things take time and patience and a lot of hard work when it comes to plants, and luck, especially in the case of bad weather. And to this, we have to add the requirements and the demands of scientific methods and of achieving these meaningful results, right? Meaningful and lasting results. So it's no easy task to bring, for example, a grape back from the brink of extinction and then to have its importance officially recognized. And the projects presented for the category today are doing some really, really incredible and very difficult work that takes many years of dedication and a lot of passion. And I'm a little bit familiar with this because we do some of this research in Argentina with my own family winery. We have a very large nursery of Malbec, virus-free Malbec plants. So we're also concerned with preserving the biodiversity of our own pre-phylloxeric vine material and that genetic biodiversity. And we've done a lot of work in this respect. So I know just how hard it can be. What I've been most impressed with all of these projects is one, the connecting thread, but also that we're all doing similar things and wanting, pursuing similar goals, all with the spirit of saving something that we love and feel so passionately about. But also just how much has been achieved in the sense of legislation, in the sense of real preservation, of real recognition of this research. So it's an award that I think recognizes very important work for the future. And so without much ado, because we are quite late, I think, here's a list of the shortlisted nominees for the research category. And they are Elsa Maria Felix Gonçalves, who is a distinguished researcher and professor at the Instituto Superior de Agronomia and the University of Lisbon, specializing in statistics, experimental design, quantitative genetics, and plant breeding. And she's done some absolutely fascinating and incredible collaborative work. She's brought together so many institutions, created an incredible database, some really impressive field work all over, and really fostering creative solutions for both growers and producers. So there's a very practical application to all the work she does on a very academic level. And our second shortlisted nominee is Plemont Vigneron, and I'm going to mispronounce this, Vigneron en Gascogne, Piedmont Pyrénéen, a pioneering cooperative in Southwest France, renowned for its groundbreaking research in ampelography and grape biodiversity. And they have a really very long trajectory and a very inspiring one, both in their achievements and in, I think, the creativity of the projects they have pursued. A really visionary approach, I think, to the preservation of biodiversity, beginning in the late 1980s. And most significantly, they've saved the Tardif grape from near extinction. So I think I'll just move, sorry, I'll just move to announcing the winner for today. I'm happy to say the winner of the research category is Plemont in France. Congratulations to Olivier. Is he here? Hello, Olivier. I think you're muted. Can you hear us?
Here we go.
Congratulations.
There we go. Hello, Adriana.
Hello, Olivier. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for this award. It's a privilege. It's a real honor for us. It's a long journey, to be there with you, because we started with those researches 40 years ago, and more than ever, we do believe that there is part of the solutions for the future in those amazing researches in the foothills of the Pyrenees. So very, very proud. I would like to thank everybody, the small jury, that because the third generation in Plemont who did the job to preserve the potential in biodiversity in France did an amazing job. And it's really easy for us now to do the job, to know better and better all the potential in each of the grapes, each of the disappeared grapes we found in the conservatory. We found it in the year 2001 in Plymouth. It's the most important conservatory in France, the most important private conservatory in France, with 39 disappeared grapes coming from the foothills of the Pyrenees, and all the answers we are looking for are really, we do believe that they are in the conservatory, and they are helping us to, the word I love is adapt to the new challenges of the next generation. So very, very pleased. Thank you so much for this award.
No, thank you it was absolutely fascinating to read everything you had done over the last 4 decades. I was especially taken by the achievement of historical monument status for one of your vineyards. That is amazing. The only instance worldwide where a plant has been listed as a historic monument. Thank you. That is absolutely incredible.
Thank you so much.
Just inspiring. So I think from what you last said, just to take up on that, my first question was about that. I wanted to ask you, after so many decades in this work and having really achieved much for Monseigneur Noir and for the Tardif grape, what do you think were the most important lessons you learned? And what would you, if you had to give advice to other people also working to recover local and native grapes in different parts of the world, what would be your...
Lessons, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that we found some solutions in one thing. It's not to consider a grape as a brand, but really as a tool to express a terroir in one moment in front of the challenges you have to face, the challenges to have more adaptation to the climate change, to adaptation to the expectations of your customers, of the people you are working with. It's very important to have the good tool at the right moment. And many of the grapes we are trying to work on for the future were not useful 1 century ago or 2 centuries ago, because they were missing, I don't know, sugar for the potential of alcohol. They were missing color when the people were looking for very strong wines in the regions. And at that moment, some incredible guys choose to keep them. They didn't destroy. Destroying biodiversity is a danger. If we lose biodiversity, we lose solutions. And we see days after days, years after years, how all the solutions we have in the region to be in front of our customers, our people, our wine growers, is really thanks to the job done in the region to keep this incredible biodiversity. So if I ever listen, I learned in Plymouth, it's keeping everything always. You never know what will be the solution of the challenge of the next decades, of the next century. So biodiversity is always part of the answer.
Absolutely. And it also applies to historians, because we always wish people kept everything. If people just kept all their documents, we would have the best archives. So absolutely, there's such value in preserving the biodiversity of our vines, and the work you've done in that respect has been really incredible. And just a very brief second question.
To tell you one figure, it's amazing to understand how much potential we lost in the last 50 years. In the year 1950, in France, with 20 grapes, it was 53% of the vineyard. Now, with the 20 most important grapes in France, it's 91% of the vineyard in France. So coming back to use solutions that were not useful 1 century ago or 2 centuries ago is in many regions in France. I do believe in this. Part of the solutions we have to face everywhere nearly in the world, but maybe in France too. So again, biodiversity really is so important for the future.
Absolutely. And as you say, it's quite urgent because the decline has been steep and very, very quick, just, you know, from the 50s to today. So yeah, I got a deep sense of urgency that your work was very necessary. And so my second question is also about the future. I think if you could just very briefly talk about the laboratory I thought was a beautiful project where you connect your own work to the rest of the world as well.
For sure, we were lucky enough. You know, we are a collective project, so all the important thing is to have all the wine growers, all the people living in the zone, believing in this way of seeing wine, in the willing of reimplant, resettle the grapes, the disappeared grapes, to invent the future of the region. But to be sure of the potential of each disappeared grapes, you know, it's a big challenge because we have 39 disappeared grapes in our conservatory. Those 39 grapes, some of them, you know, are not useful at the moment. They were abandoned or forgiven for good reasons. And maybe the reasons are still good to be abandoned for the moment. So we are preserving them. But having the potential to micro-vinify in the first moment, then develop a little bit the plantation if we see the potential of a grape, and was difficult for us. So we settled in Plémont, an amazing winery, small winery, with the ability to develop micro-vinification with under than 100 liters. So that means with 50, 60, 70 plants of disappeared grape, we are doing the job to rediscover the potential in the wine tasting. And then we go to other conservatories with 300, 400 or 500 plants to develop a little bit more the knowledge of the potential of each grape. And then we have some small plots with 10 hectoliters, 50 hectoliters. And that way we are doing the job to resettle the most important grapes for our present and for the next future of the region. So yeah, this incredible winery, you are very welcome to come and visit us in South.
I would love to. I would absolutely. It's so much work. Really I mean, just from hearing you talk about it, so much work. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Very inspiring. Thank you very much, Olivier.
Thank you, Adriana, and thank you, Olivier. And always a pleasure to hear you talk. It's now my pleasure to introduce Sean DiMartino, who is going to take us through the Old Vines New Technology category and will announce the winner.
Thank you, Sarah. It's a pleasure to have overseen this category, which is, I believe, a new addition to the Old Vine Hero Awards this year. The Old Vines New Technology category really seeks to look at all of the innovation that's happening around the world of wine today, with the introduction of new technologies using AI, multispectral imaging, all kinds of really interesting stuff that oftentimes gets developed outside of wine and usually takes somebody who understands the pain points and principles of winemaking and viticulture to then do the hard work of customizing it for the vineyard space. So really important work, and it's fun to finally see that being recognized in Old Vine vineyards. Reviewing the nominations for the category was inspiring and humbling, partly due to the work that I and my partner do at Sentinel. There were remarkable efforts across all of the shortlisted nominees that we have today. Wanting to give due to the shortlisted nominees, which were Alma Caravejas, which is a visionary collective dedicated to preserving old vineyards while integrating cutting-edge technology to advance sustainable winemaking with projects like Revivid and VidVision, utilizing AI, multispectral imaging, and genetic analyses. Their holistic approach champions both the past and the future of winemaking Second, we had Filipa Pato, a renowned winemaker from Portugal, blending innovative techniques with traditional viticulture, using precision agriculture, AI, and biodynamic practices, preserving vineyards well over 100 years old. Third, we had the Consorzio Friuli Colli Orientali Raimondo, based in Italy, using QGIS based mapping and AI to preserve the genetic heritage of over 5,000 vineyards. Their work with universities and research institutions to continue to promote the continuity of ancient vine data. And then lastly, our award recipients, Marta Huega and Lila from Pi Concept. Their pioneer work with Pi Analytics, a new sustainability platform, promotes both old vine viticulture as well as resource efficiency and environmental stewardship. It's a real pleasure to be presenting this award, and congratulations, Marta and Lila.
Hello. Hi. Thank you.
Well, actually, Marta and Lila, actually, you and I had a chance last year to kind of co-present on a panel. So it's coming full circle, being able to present this award to you as two folks who are also heavily invested in utilizing advancements in technology in the viticulture space. I wanted to ask maybe one quick question. I know we're running over time, but I guess looking at this award, and it's a testament really to the impact of such a young platform. Curious how you envision the recognition of this award influencing your future work with Pi and sustainability and technology in wine. What does the roadmap look like for you going forward?
First of all, thank you so much for everyone who voted for us and all the wine world around the globe and for the nomination. We think it's an extremely important award and area of wine to recognize. Our focus is more on sustainability. And even though there is a lot of talk on sustainability, and a lot of action, but we wanted to create a tool that actually guides people rather than just gives another badge to wineries, and more becomes a supportive asset that winemakers around the world can use and rely on, from little to big wineries who have no resources maybe, or have resources but confused in this completely new world of sustainability. Is new in every industry and wine is no exception. And I think this award will just really help to highlight that need of unity. And like the Old Wine conference, as people have mentioned previously, is more about the community and appreciating what nature has given us and how we take care of it. And that community, it resonates with our product very much, because it's not a badge, it's not another award, it's more of a tool that people can use who are genuinely interested in improving their regenerative environment and focusing on what's good for their own vineyard. And with that, I pass over to Marta.
Okay, thanks, Lila. Thanks, everyone, the Old Vine Conference, for creating this section. No, I think that, as Sean said, it's really important to start to give some visibility to innovation and technology in the wine industry. Is a really important topic and controversial sometimes. People tend to think about technology, which is something really complex and difficult to handle, and it's not the case with what we are trying to do with Pi Concept, which is the company, and Pi Analytics, which is the first methodology that we have created, that is trying to just help businesses to analyze internally what they do in terms of sustainability and transform these business models in order to generate positive impact through the products and services. So the idea is to help people to understand what they have done right and what they haven't done that right, and start to use innovation and data-driven technologies in order to guide them to the right direction. So it's mainly based on innovation. And for me, this award gives me some fresh air and energy in order to continue the path. So thank you so much again for this.
Thank you, Sean, and congratulations to Leila and Marta. With that, we're going to wrap up. I would just like to take this opportunity to please encourage you to visit oldvines.org, our website. We've got some incredible Old Vine events coming up. We'll be in Villafranca del Bierzo with a masterclass on old vines from Bierzo, presented by our regional ambassador for Spain, Anna Harris Noble. I'll be at Vinitaly hosting a masterclass on Italian old vine wine. We also have a masterclass at London Wine Fair with a feature on wines of Spain and Portugal. Thank you to London Wine Fair for supporting us, and also I should say to Vinitaly, who support us and give us those slots. We have our Old Vine Conference Trade and Media tasting in London on June the 17th. Try and make that tasting. Just tasting these wines, it's electrifying. They're so diverse in style, but they share something. They share really a most beautiful energy, and it's always a real highlight. New venue this year because we needed more space. Also in June, we have our online Old Vine Registry regroup, where thanks to the incredible leadership of Alda Yarrow, we're able to update you all on our Heritage Vine Hunt contest, this drive to register 10,000 vineyards of old vines by 2027. And I should say that under Alda's leadership, the Old Vine Registry was actually cited by the OIV in its landmark resolution in October last year, which officially recognized for the first time the value of old vines to the agricultural wine sector. This is very significant. It plays into policy. It starts to influence the way in which regulators structure financial incentives and agricultural support plans. So do sign up for that, June the 26th. I'm also delighted to say that I'm going to be at the Clément Rencontre Ampelographique, which is held on the 30th of June and the 1st of July. And this is an expanded program hosted by Clément, where we actually dig deeper into their research, and to which they invite top specialists from around France and also from around the world. And I'm going to be doing some live posting from there. And of course, we've got our conference in California on October the 31st. So please do check out oldvines.org. I think I've remembered to thank everybody that Belinda asked me to, of course, to thank my fellow presenters, all the judges, all of you for turning up. Really, your attention is what creates the value, you know, and it's by adding the value that we can sell the wines, we can achieve, you know, ethical, good prices. We can train people to farm these vineyards. We can keep them in the ground. So it's a really sort of benign, virtuous circle. And I must also thank Belinda Stone. It wasn't on your notes, Belinda, but thank you very much. You do a fantastic job for the Old Vine Conference. And thank you for coming up with this whole idea.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all the judges. It's been amazing. It's been really inspiring for everybody. And as Sarah said, for everybody that have joined us from around the world. There's some really lovely comments in the chat. I think it really goes so far to show how supportive everybody is and what a community that there is out there for all of us, for all the work that we're doing. So yeah, it's been great.
Thank you, everyone. And do have a look at you can read the shortlisters' profiles online as well. We use a competition because it kind of gets attention, but really everyone is doing amazing work. So please do have a look at those profiles if you haven't yet. Okay, thank you very much. Bye for now.
See you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.